Hey guys, hope you're enjoying your weekend. It's Raydell here, and I wanted to talk about the most recent blog. But first, exciting news. I joined a mastermind recently, and I wonder if anyone else is a part of those. I joined to be, around more women that are doing online businesses and creating online communities. And one of the perks of a mastermind is that we do a monthly book club. And I know I've posted before, but I love reading books and wonder, if you guys have a goal of how many you're going to read in 2019. Wanted to share the most recent one that we read in the book club as a part of this mastermind. It's I Will Teach You to Be Rich with Ramit Sethi. And it is funny. It's a lot of like basic information that you probably already know, but he speaks in a way that it's just very dry, direct, and to the point. And so I appreciate how, frank he is about your money and what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. And he also just really reminds you to make everything automatic every month, from like savings and in terms of, putting money into your 401k and IRA and all this good stuff. So I recommend it. It's good. It's a little dry. People said the Audible is better because you can speed up him reading the book. But I am still a little old school and like things like, in my hands. Anyways, wanted to get to the blog this week because we are talking about how to know when you're ready to learn about your fertility health. And I think this is a tricky conversation or just a tricky thing to sort of maneuver and know, because I related it a lot to cooking. Because I feel like when you're cooking something, people can be naturally good at cooking and they just know like when the chicken's done and they pull it out and it's like tender but not overcooked and it's just ready to go, or like pasta is al dente and it tastes amazing, it's not like crunchy and it's not too soft. And I think that's just a natural skill sometimes people have. I try to follow recipes and it doesn't really happen. And I made a joke that I'm pretty much like the chef from the Muppets, the Swedish chef, where things are flying around and it's just a little bit out of hand in the kitchen. That's pretty much me cooking because I don't sometimes know when things are done. And the reason I like that, to say that and share that, and wonder if anyone can relate, because I also feel like fertility health and like fertility awareness and the conversation around women understanding their fertility and all of that stuff is a little confusing. And there's also not this like specific recipe, or like a timer doesn't go off based on each female on when she should, okay, now it's time to learn about your fertility health. Like there's nothing to follow along, and there's no like rules or right way or wrong way. You just kind of have to have a sense of knowing like, ooh, I think I'm ready to learn about my fertility health. So I share 3 signs that are good to watch out for to help you, kind of guide you, since we don't have those recipes and we don't have the timer going off, on when to know when to learn about our fertility health. So the first sign is that I really believe, hi Jess, how you doing? Thanks for joining. I want to know, Jess, are you a good cook or not? That's what I was talking about first. Whether or not you're good in the kitchen and that you know when to take something out of the oven. Anyways, but the first sign to know if you're ready to learn about your fertility health is that you basically, maybe you've taken a friend to a fertility center. She's had to have some treatment done. And so you're like, absolutely, I'll drive you home, whatever. And so that's just to notice that, okay, someone in your closer circle is trying to use a fertility center to get pregnant, and there's something going on with her there. And, that's not necessarily directly related to your life, but it can be, you can be mindful of it, because that means it's kind of like near your age bracket, things are happening around you. The second reason I say to look for, if you're interested in learning about your fertility health, is if someone recommended you to this community, or you find yourself listening to the podcast or reading the blog and you're just not sure if you want children yet, but you think the content is kind of relevant or interesting. And I think that's a component to say, yes, you're ready to learn about your fertility health. It doesn't mean you have to do all these, crazy steps. You really just, I share, and I'm going to actually share in a masterclass coming up at the end of this month, ways to start learning about your fertility and where you are in terms of like a scale of like, are your fertility hormones still good? What do your ovarian reserves look like? These type of things. I go into it in a masterclass at the end of this month, which I did want to make sure if you want to register for it, it's at fertilityboss.com/free class. So just FREE class. So it's fertilityboss.com/free class. So that's another sign to look for if someone, shared to read or listen to anything by Fertility Boss. And then thirdly, again, just coming back to your community, if you've noticed, a friend is trying to get pregnant and she isn't getting pregnant every month and she's kind of getting a little disappointed, but not really, too serious about it. Or, maybe you have a family member that you've heard has had some miscarriages and things have been happening, and that person is a little bit in your age range. All of these are signs that you are basically of the age where women are, trying to conceive, and maybe things just aren't going exactly right, and that's totally fine. But I think it's a good point for you to stop and become a little bit more aware about your fertility health, because it doesn't hurt. And what I'll talk about in the free class is really just getting information for yourself. It's actually out there through some technology, through some basic tests. You can find out a lot of information. So that's really what I wanted to share with you today. I'd love to know if you got a chance to go to the blog or listen to the podcast. You actually can listen to it at iTunes or Stitcher or SoundCloud. You just search for Fertility Boss. It's 2 words, and it will come right up. And then this is podcast number 5 on how to know when you're ready to learn about your fertility health. So thanks everybody I think I saw Mark pop in here and Jess and everybody I hope you're having a great weekend. And I'd love to hear your comments if you watch this video later, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.